EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marticher with your outlook for the weekend, August 1st and 2nd, 2020. Start of the new month, we're going to have partly cloudy skies, a pretty nice day today. Expecting temperatures to rebound a little bit to slightly above average levels, very slightly above average, but above average nevertheless. And we should have a partly cloudy day with a frontal boundary that was draped across our region yesterday, now off to the south. It's going to be situated like this. That's going to be grabbed northward by this area low pressure and sent northeastward as a warm front. It's going to return back through our area tonight as this low pressure grabs it. And there will be a few showers and thunderstorms with that as it moves through during the overnight hours. You can see that here. This is being dragged back northward as a warm front overnight. And then it clears off to the north on Sunday morning. Then there's an associated cold front that's going to try to move through very late in the day. But it might be situated a little bit too far west to get most of our area. It looks like it's just our central areas and then weakening further east heading into northeast PA later at night on Sunday. So the weekend, for the most part, isn't too bad. It's going to be a little more humid actually a lot more humid on Sunday compared to Saturday. Temperatures maybe nudge up a little bit. So instead of 87, it might be 89, 90 in a few places here on Sunday. But then you're going to have a thunderstorm threat later in the day for at least our western areas until that cold front moves through. This down here, of course, is Isaias, and this is going to be, we think, affecting our region here in the late Monday through Tuesday night time frame. Okay, we're going to narrow that time frame down a little bit further as we get into the next video, which we do on Sunday night for Monday. We'll have better information, hopefully, by then, and at that point, it should be up here somewhere, and we would have a better idea of where the exact track is going to be. But we're getting a better idea today. The trend has been to make this storm a little bit weaker as it's moving to the north, and that might allow it to come a little bit further west and if not hitting the Florida coast or making landfall on the eastern Florida coastline, it'll be very, very close. Here's the NAM for tonight, though, with the showers overnight. Now, again, this is a warm front being dragged through. This is very late. This is after midnight. So you get some showers rotating through, maybe a thunderstorm with this, going right into early Sunday morning. Here's 8 a.m., and then this goes away after an early shower or early couple showers in the morning for central and northern areas. That front safely moves off to the north, and here's your scattered thunderstorms developing late in the day. So this is 6 p.m. on Sunday. So most of your day's dry here on Sunday as well. After those morning showers exit, you get some variably cloudy skies in the afternoon. Again, the humidity increases quite a bit here on Sunday as well. And then these thunderstorms move eastward, but this is going to be at 8 p.m., so how much of it is left at this point once it starts weakening, heading into northeast PA, maybe over to the Lehigh Valley here late in the day. But this is going to be late evening before that comes through. Okay, so that's your system coming in on Saturday. This is over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Once we get into Monday, we're going to have this system moving up the coast here. Now, it's going to be picked up by a trough. There's a incoming trough out here, sitting out here like this, okay? And it's going to pick this, well, let me draw that a little better. There's a trough that's actually situated like this. It is being driven eastward by this area low pressure up to the north here. And this is going to pick this up and kind of pull it up in this direction here, okay? So hurricane can't go, or tropical storm, whatever it is at this point, is not going to defy the laws of physics. It's going to be driven by this trough in a northeasterly direction by the jet streak that's moving out ahead of it. So that's going to interact with that jet streak and actually help to enhance some rainfall as it moves up the coast as well. I think the primary concern for our area here is not going to be the wind. I don't care what they classify it as. Once it's up at this latitude, most likely it's going to be a tropical storm at this point. And then once it gets near our latitude, it's going to actually be transitioning at some point either over our region or just after to a post-tropical system, post-tropical cyclone. And at that point, your wind is going to be nothing terrible, okay? So maybe comparable to what we saw with Tropical Storm Faye a few weeks ago. But I think the rain threat is going to be bigger with this because of the track of this system. Last time with Faye, if you remember, it was some very heavy rain across Delaware, New Jersey. And we saw some areas getting 3 to 5 inches of rain. I think it's going to be pulled a little bit further inland now with this track going a little bit westward. And why do I think that track is going to be legit? Well, we can see here on the satellite loop, here's the system itself. There's actually, looks like there's two centers here. There's not. There's just convection firing to the east of this low. If I stop this right here, the center of circulation is actually on the eastern side of this. And the 11 o'clock National Hurricane Center advisory that I did before this video has this at 987 millibars and 80 mile per hour wind. So it is a Category 1 hurricane. Came up a little bit from what it was earlier. It was 80 miles per hour, then went down to 75 for most of the day. Now it's back up to 80 miles per hour. It's struggling right now with some wind shear coming in from the west or southwest here, and that's going to get into this eye wall here and adjust some dry air at times, and it's going to keep this thing from really blowing up. Okay, so it looks pretty healthy on satellite right now, but as it's moving through the Bahamas, this is these are Bahamas here. The Turks and Caicos are down here. This is Cuba right here. Down here is the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Okay, it's on its way to Florida, or in the near vicinity of that. So since it's weaker, it'll be allowed to be pulled a little bit further west, and some of the model guidance is picking up on that today. The official National Hurricane Center forecast does take this as a hurricane straight near the Florida coast. If not making landfall, it's going to be awfully close, and it doesn't matter really. There are some indications this could be a little bit offshore, and if it is, it might have downstream implications on where this tracks in our region and who gets the heaviest rain. If it does just barely touch Florida, or maybe makes landfall in Florida, then reemerges like it's shown here. If you go down the center of the cone here, it's going right here and does reemerge if it does make landfall, and then makes another landfall here over South Carolina somewhere. It's going to continue up in this direction like this. Okay, so it's more of an inland track, not offshore like it was looking on the previous couple days. So the trend has been to push it closer to the Florida coast, and that does have downstream effects with rain and wind here. The wind will be less. And here's the HWRF. I wanted to show you this here because this is a hurricane specialty model. Initialize this at the correct pressure, at the correct time, 987 millibars, and it is in the correct position. So this is a believable model because it's already initializing correctly. So it shows us moving off to the northwest towards the Florida coast, and you can see here's Florida right here. West Palm Beach is right about here, so it does, on this particular model, skirt to the north of that, and it gets dangerously close to Daytona, very close, okay? And may even make landfall up here on the eastern coast of Florida, may or may not, but it's going to be awfully close here with where it makes landfall. But if it doesn't, even if it doesn't, it does come awfully close to Savannah, just east of there, and then it makes landfall here in southern North Carolina, or excuse me, southern South Carolina, and then the track of this thing goes right over North Carolina, right over Virginia, just east of the Appalachians there, on the eastern slopes there, and it eventually ends up over southeast PA. Now, I don't want you to get alarmed here thinking, oh no, we're going to have tropical storm force winds here in southeastern PA. I don't think the winds are going to be the concern. The concern for our area is going to be the flooding and the copious amounts of rainfall. And the European model hinted at that today. You can see a corridor here of some 3 to 5 inches of rain over a large area. And if it does take that inland track, it would be generally from like D.C. up through Allentown and the Poconos. Okay, and further south and east, where we got the heavy rain last time, you're still getting heavy rain here, but you're more like 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches, if that's any consolation. Further inland, though, the further inland you go, the less it is. Now, can this change? Absolutely. This is just a preliminary look at what the possibilities we could be dealing with. And 3 to 5 inches of rain is a lot of rain that you get in just 24 to 36 hours. And I do say 24 to 36 is we're going to have a tropical plume of moisture well ahead of the system. Even when it's down here in the Carolinas on Monday, you're going to have some rain streaking in here late Monday or Monday night. And it's well ahead of this system. And as this system finally moves northward, this is Tuesday morning, you can see there's a plume of moisture going all the way into New England, way ahead of this system. Okay, so we're going to get rain well ahead of this system, and as it continues off to the north and east, you can see heavy rain dumped over the area where it tracks. And again, the HWRF was actually a little further west with this. So GFS is pretty much online with this track too. So there's going to be some moving around over the next couple of days, and a lot of it is predicated on what it does, how weak or strong it is when it's nearest Florida here. We just don't know that yet. Once we see what it does with how it interacts with Florida, how far off the coast it is, or if it makes landfall, will make have a downstream effect on what it does here. And another thing, if it does stay just offshore and is able to maintain strength or even intensify as it heads more in this direction, it's pulled further east, it's going to maintain a little bit better strength, and wind would be a little higher of a concern once it got off in this direction. If it did stay offshore, it would be less so if it came across and if it came over Florida or very near the coast, because it would have time to weaken before it made a second landfall, not really strengthen. It has to go over all of this landmass before it finally gets up to our latitude. So by that time, you're dealing with a much weaker system, so the winds won't be as much of a concern. Maybe 25 to 35, maybe miles per hour is a good early preliminary estimate. But I think the rain is going to be our number one concern, and this is why we are concerned about it, is the flooding rainfall that will be happening over a relatively short period of time. But once this system exits here on Tuesday night, lifts off the northeast, we have the trailing trough coming in here, maybe an isolated thunderstorm later on Wednesday, but then we have some cooler weather relative to average, near to slightly below average, in fact, and that's going to be on Thursday and Friday of next week with temperatures in the lower 80s, so it's going to feel a lot nicer as we head toward the end of next week, and we do have a chance to dry out at least after the system passes. I'll have more on Sunday night with updated information, hopefully better answers with what the eventual track of this is going to be and what we can expect. And we'll have a detailed blog out for the public on Monday as well, so we can cover everything that we're expecting from the system at that time. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martins. That is look for the weekend, August 1st and 2nd, 2020. Have a great Saturday and Sunday.